The Shahada is our covenant with Allah that we repeat every day in prayer. When you sit down and you repeat your tashahhud, just the same way as somebody who has just embraced Islam does, you repeat with your finger, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Shahada is the testimony of faith. It is something you say verbally that's an expression of something inside you. It's not supposed to be hypocritical, that what I say is different from what is inside me. Nearly every religion has a system of certain repetitive routine acts that help to download in us a particular type of psyche. And the repetition in Islam, that everything you do, remember to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. To keep repeating to yourself something about your relationship with Allah. And so in every prayer, Fatiha is compulsory. And within Fatiha, you make it clear, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You alone do I serve or worship, and you alone do I seek assistance from. Addiction, whether to something that is halal or haram. You can have drugs that are haram. You can have a kind of sexual relation that is haram. You can have people addicted to stealing, addicted to gossip, addicted to intoxicants or drugs. But you can also get addicted to something that is halal. Some get addicted to social media or gaming. Some get addicted to food or shopping. Some get addicted to dhikr. That you get so preoccupied with remembering Allah and acts of dhikr that you have no time to implement what your relationship with Allah asks you to do. You abandon your family. You abandon responsibilities. You start to lose rahmah. You start to lose compassion even for yourself. Addiction is when you have a new kind of shahada. Addiction is when you are so dependent on a particular thing or a habit that it disrupts and undermines your relationship with Allah. It is a form of shirk. It's a form of shirk. It is where what you are addicted to now gradually matters more than Allah. And Allah saying this is haram really doesn't matter to you. Why? You are so tied to your new addiction. Free will is the ability to choose. Addiction is a loss of free will. A Muslim is prohibited from intoxicants because it affects your ability to choose correctly, your ability to respond appropriately. Addiction is where you are no more response able. You are no more able to choose what response you are going to have, what decisions you're going to make when a particular thing that you are addicted to calls. When there's a craving, you lose the ability to say, I am no more doing. Halal and haram don't really matter, because even when you are addicted even to a halal, it is to an extent that is disruptive and destructive. Scholars may differ, for example, on the issue of whether masturbation is makruh or whether it's actually haram. Or those who consider it as halal as spitting, like Ahmad bin Hanbal and Ibn Hazm. But even if you consider it okay, even a good thing you can have too much of. Even something as useful as medicine, too much can kill you. One way to know whether you're getting addicted to something is to look at those things Sharia considers as its aims and objectives, those things that Islam would like to see in your life. Balance, time for family, time for worship between you and Allah, time for economic activity that hopefully will allow you one day to be in a position not just of giving zakat, but probably also doing more sadaqah. Religion, nearly every religion, has been that institution in a human society that has been responsible for reminding people to be good. You can graduate. I studied agriculture in my first degree, and I graduate from agriculture. And somebody can graduate in medicine and graduate, but you don't graduate in religion. And if you look at the way religion treats people, it seems to assume that people need to be reminded many times a day. Every week there's somebody either in a church, in a mosque, in a synagogue, reminding people to be more compassionate to others and to themselves. Compassion includes justice for victims. So in that sense, when the Prophet is described as a rahmah, a source of compassion for all the worlds, it also includes justice, fairness. When life starts going out of balance and you start missing the prayer period, and there's the period when Subuh starts and when it ends, and Zuhur starts and when it ends, and Asr and Maghrib and Isha. When you start missing those periods, start asking yourself why. There's the odd occasion, but when it starts getting repetitive, you probably are facing an addiction. If you can't keep to certain religious obligations, please look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you addicted to work? Work is good, but too much becomes bad. If you spend too much time on social media that you miss the period for prayer, ask yourself, what's wrong? This you can usually do before you reach the stage where you need help from others.